All right, guys, we got review and preview, chapter 7, problem 44 through 46. They kind of showed you what to do in the first part. We kind of modeled it for you. So that's one less question you got to do. Looking at problem B, how many 1/4 are in 5? If I do my best to draw 5. All right, and then I break those into fourths. The easiest way is usually just split them in half and then split the halves in half. Again, they don't have to be perfect. And then right there, I can count how many fourths I have. I have 4 in each one, and I have 5 shapes. So if I did my 5 times 4, you should have 20. Looking at C, how many 1/6 are in 3? So again, if I get my 3 shapes, and I break them into sixths. Whoops. Five lines in each. I know I have 6, 12, and 18, so my answer should be 18. And D, how many 1/5 are in 6? So keeping it going here. Break them into fifths. So if you're making them at home, you just got to put 4 lines to have 5 pieces. Five in each one. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So there's 30 fifths in 6. I always try to think about if you're like dividing candy or dividing cake, as we've talked to in class, or pie. If you're breaking each one into fifths, then you are going to have 30 pieces. 745. Describe how each of the following multipliers would change the dimensions of a photograph. For example, a multiplier of 15/2 would make it a lot bigger, more like 7.5 times. So if you were multiplying something by 19/20, the photograph would, I would say, barely change. Again, you're almost multiplying it by 1. It's pretty close to it. That'd be 95%. So you get 95% of the picture. That's not really going to change it. If you're multiplying by 1/30, that's going to change it a lot. So it's going to make it, I would just say, maybe really small. Think if you had 30 squares and you divide them into even squares and you only had one piece of it out, that's how big your picture would be. So that's not really going to make it too much of a difference. 16/16 wouldn't change it. Again, 16 goes into 16 one time, and it's even there, so it would not change because nothing has been modified to it. And then 19 and 21 there, it's only getting up, so again, that'd be one of our like barely changes, because it's pretty much the same. If it was 21/21, it wouldn't change. Going down to 47, we got some shapes here. Again, perimeter is just side plus side plus side plus side. For a rectangle, just side plus side plus side. Your formula for this one, it's a trapezoid, so it's that base 1 plus base 2 times the height divided by 2. All right. For our triangle, it should be the 1 base times height divided by 2. Just going to set these up for you. I'm not going to walk through them all. Your sides are here, 13, 26.9, 15, and 10. Your sides here are 7, 12, and 12. The bases, though, are the flat parts of the trapezoid. So you have 15 plus 26.9. You're going to add those, and they're going to multiply them by the height, which is 8, and then divide it by 2. The triangle here, the base, the flat part is 12. You're going to times that by the height, which is 5, and then you're going to divide it by 2. So you got the set up there. It should be the only complicated part. If we plugged in the numbers, you just have to solve. And if not, you can check the answer key that should be up. Last question, looks like 748. We got 2 rectangles. We're going to try to multiply doing the generic rectangle similar to the ones we've done when we've done the multiplication. Let's say if I had 20 times 16, we break them into 2 places. I'll put 20 here, and I'd put 2 tens place and 0. So yeah, 2 and 0, and then I could put 1 and 6, and we can multiply across. Yep, tens and ones, tens and ones. No different here. So we have 3, it looks like, times 2 and a third. To guesstimate here, I know 3 times 2 is 6, so I'm just going to say 7. And for down here, I got 2 and 3. I'm multiplying by something smaller. I'll go like 1.3 would be my guess. The multiplication problem, like we said earlier, is 3 times 2 and 1/3. The answer using generic rectangle, 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times a third would be 3/3, which is 1. 1 plus 6 is 7. Weird that I estimated 7. Didn't even really look at it, so I guess I got lucky there. The last one, the multiplication problem is 2 and 1/10 times 35 hundredths. So we got to do 2 times 35 hundredths. So if I have 2 of those, it's up to 0.7. And then 35 times 1 would be 35. But again, we're multiplying 2. So 35 times 0.1, I got 35, and I'm 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So I got 35 thousandths. And so adding that to my 0.7, 7 tenths, I would get 0.0. Yeah, let me line this up here. 0.035 and 7 tenths. 537. So 7 and 35. So 7 and 35 thousandths. There's one more paper here. Again, I guess I scanned the wrong order. You're supposed to enlarge the image by 3 and then enlarge it by half. So pick any size of your original one. So if I did like a 4x4, I'm going to multiply each side by 3, and then I will divide it both by 2. Any questions in class, just let us know, and we'll take care of it. Thanks.